welcome to the jam. Come on and slam if you want to jam. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Brinker, and leading up to Space Jam: A New Legacy coming up, of course I have to review the first Space Jam that came out in 1996, which stars Michael Jordan, Wayne Knight, Bill Murray, Danny Devito, and the entire Looney Tunes gang. So basically the plot of Space Jam, in my opinion, it turns out to be one of the most ridiculous plots that I've seen in a family film. The movie starts off on this planet called Muron Mountain in outer space, where there's this theme park that runs in that planet that is run by Danny DeVito's character, who thinks the park is running out of customers. So he sends these little aliens to Earth in Looney Tunes land. So basically Looney Tunes land is underneath us where this movie took place. They went to Looney Tunes land to kidnap the Looney Tunes and turn them into slaves to bring in new attractions to the theme park. Of course the Looney Tunes do not want that. They want to have a chance to defend themselves, so they challenge these little aliens to a basketball game. And they think it's all going to be easy because these aliens are very, very tiny and the Looney Tunes are bigger than them. But no, these aliens have their tricks on their sleeves. They go back to basically our world above Looney Tunes land to the NBA games, and they stole the talent of real life NBA players. Yes, there are real life NBA players in this movie. So they stole the talent of these NBA players and they turned themselves into big, muscular, monster looking aliens, which Sylvester calls them the Monstars. So of course it's not going to be easy for Looney Tunes, so they need a bit of help. So they recruit NBA superstar Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes must play an ultimate basketball game to save their lives against the Monstars. If you're a kid, especially if you're a 90s kid, you would watch Space Jam as a kid. I love Space Jam as a kid, and the funny thing is, I'm not a 90s kid, I'm a 2000s kid. But I love Space Jam as a kid. I grew up with Space Jam a lot as a kid. I remember watching Space Jam so many times at school, and it never gets old. I even had it on DVD, and I just got the 4K just recently, because it's one of my biggest childhood movies. I remember growing up with Space Jam, but now I'm a 20-year-old man, and since the new one is coming out, we are going to refresh our memories with Space Jam, because I have not seen this movie in a very long time, but I remember loving this film as a kid. So I literally watched Space Jam a couple of days ago leading up to the new one, and I remember moments from Space Jam, so it's not like a movie that I don't remember, because I love Space Jam as a kid. Now here's the thing, does Space Jam hold up till this day? Because this movie came out in the 90s. Does this movie hold up? In my opinion, absolutely not. This movie was probably one of the most ridiculous films that I have ever seen, with some bad writing, with some really crazy shit that happens in the movie, but at the same time, I freaking enjoyed Space Jam because it was my childhood movie, because I felt so much nostalgic with this movie. Of course, I haven't bought the 4K for no reason. It's definitely one of my biggest family guilty pleasures. Let's talk about what holds up about Space Jam. First off, the Looney Tunes. You know, this is a Looney Tunes movie after all, and the Looney Tunes characters, they felt like themselves. They are the best parts about this movie. If this film does not have Looney Tunes in it, this movie would have been a big piece of shit. Or it wouldn't be a movie in general. I love the Looney Tunes in this movie. They play their own counterpart. Of course, Bugs Bunny is technically the main Looney Tune in this film. In my opinion, out of all the Looney Tunes, I really didn't like the voice actor who played Daffy Duck in this film. I don't know, it's just something about the voice of Daffy Duck that does not feel the same with Daffy Duck. But the best part about this movie is the Looney Tunes, because I grew up with the Looney Tunes as a kid. Everyone probably grew up with the Looney Tunes as a kid. Looney Tunes are like the icon of Warner Brothers. Kind of like when Mickey Mouse is the icon of Disney, I see the Looney Tunes are an icon of Warner Brothers. I grew up with the Looney Tunes cartoons as a kid. I love the old cartoons of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Sylvester and Tweety. Always loved the Looney Tunes as a kid. So this movie kept me a lot nostalgic, especially from the Looney Tunes characters. And I would say another thing that really holds up about Space Jam is the soundtrack. The soundtrack, come on. The soundtrack is the thing that really holds up from this movie. Like, of course, Space Jam, like, it always holds up till this day. But I Believe I Can Fly, Fly Like an Eagle. There's a lot of great songs in this film. And the best part about Space Jam is the entire basketball game. You enjoy this basketball game. It really didn't take itself way too seriously. But that's why you have to see this movie for yourself. You can't take this movie seriously. It's a movie that basically knows exactly what it is. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. If you take Space Jam seriously, you're not gonna have a good time with it. But I think you have to be a kid to enjoy Space Jam if you're watching it now, because you have your childhood nostalgic within the movie that you can't take away from Space Jam. That's my perspective with Space Jam. But the basketball game is very entertaining, it's very exciting. It's in a moment where the film kind of gave up on itself taking it seriously and they just go ridiculous after ridiculous after ridiculous. But the basketball game is entertaining as hell. But just because I said all these positives, Space Jam, if you watch this film as a film, it literally wasn't good. Especially when it comes to the acting in this film. The acting in this movie was all around awful. Michael Jordan in this film, who was basically the main character of this film, he was bad in this movie. I'm sorry. I didn't think Michael Jordan holds up to me when I was a kid. I find Michael Jordan's acting really bland and so one-dimensional. Like, when he connects with the Looney Tunes, he just acts like he does not give a shit. And especially that this movie is mostly about commercialism. Like, this movie is based on Michael Jordan's Nike's commercial when they signed a deal with Warner Bros. And put Looney Tunes in these commercials to get kids to buy these Air Jordan shoes.
Air Jordan and Air Jordan.
What'd you expect? Elmer Fudd?
Of course, Warner Bros. Is like, let's make a movie about it. But make it a basketball movie with NBA's Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes. That's how this movie basically exists. And Michael Jordan just acts like he didn't want to do this. He's like,
Alright, I'll just do it for the money.
because Michael Jordan in this movie is so one-dimensional in this entire movie.
Someone has to go to my house and pick up my basketball gear.
And the other actors in this film, like Wayne Knight, who basically plays Michael Jordan's wingman in the film, was annoying as hell. He's basically being Wayne Knight in the film, basically, from Seinfeld. And I find him just very annoying in the film. He literally tries so hard to be hilarious, and I didn't think it works. And Bill Murray in this film. Just, whose idea is it to put him in this movie? And his role in the movie is just a cameo. Like, literally, in the basketball game, he just came out of nowhere. And it's one of the funniest shit that I've ever seen because of how ridiculous the writing is in this movie. And also, this movie introduces us the new Looney Tunes character, Lola Bunny, and basically she's in this movie to be a sexy character. That's literally Lola Bunny. She has no motivation. She's basically the hot chick, but she's a rabbit. And she's making kids fall in love with rabbits. It's really weird to watch. Oh my god, I'm not in love with rabbits. I am not in love with rabbits. And the story of this movie is just ridiculous as hell. It's like they're gonna make this story up as they go along when they're writing the script. But you gotta know this is a kids movie. You know, kids movies all about being in your imaginations no matter how ridiculous it is. And I kind of respect Space Jam for it. And I find Danny DeVito and the Monstars very cheesy as hell as villains. At times they were funny, the Monstars, but when they turned into these big, gigantic, you know, monsters and stuff, they became so ridiculous in the film.
You heard of a dream team? But we're the mean team!
Just their line deliveries are just so ridiculous in the film. But this film is a 90s film. This film came out in the freaking 90s, so it's definitely probably different when it came out in the 90s and now. But definitely with the new one coming out, I'm really interested to see how the modern take of Space Jam is going to take over it. Overall, guys, Space Jam, it does not hold up, but still, I enjoyed the living hell out of Space Jam because of how bad, how ridiculous it is. It's definitely one of my biggest family guilty pleasures. I love the Looney Tunes, they're great characters in the film. The basketball game made me so entertained by the film. It's a fun childhood film that doesn't hold up, but it still has my nostalgic with it. I still have a lot of nostalgic with Space Jam, even though I wasn't a 90s kid. It is fun, bad, at the same time. You know, you can watch this movie not taking it seriously. If you do take this movie seriously, you're not going to have a good time with Space Jam. I'm going to give Space Jam a C+. So guys, my review for Space Jam, A New Legacy, is coming up very, very soon. Let me know what you think of the first Space Jam in the comments below. Do you like the movie, hate the movie, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below, Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter, or Letterboxd. Keep contact with me, and of course, I have a new background. This is the background I'm going to keep for now, and it's basically the same background, but just adding another Blu-ray shelf with it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and notify for my latest movie reviews. And that's all, folks.